Well, hey, man, it's Jamie. That's me here. Welcome back to my channel. Let's go ahead and get into another thing regarding Real Housewives of Potomac. Hey y'all, I'm back. Okay, so I got a chance to rewatch the episode. As I told you guys, I probably was gonna do on yesterday's review. Okay, there were a few things that happened that I took some notes about. Okay, so I'm gonna give you guys my thoughts, my additional thoughts, and I want you guys to go ahead and chime down in the comments below. Okay, first things first. Gizelle and Wendy at the table. All right. Wendy is talking to Gizelle after Gizelle asked, are we good or whatever. Wendy is talking to Gizelle about her saying that she lacks substance this year versus last year. And her feeling as though she's seeing more of her breast and her body than she's seen any other time. And I don't know, maybe, Gizelle hasn't gotten any work done, so maybe she can't necessarily relate, which is why she probably was being a little bit insensitive of saying, I've seen more of your body, because this lady got her work done on her body. She feels like she look good. She wants to show it off or whatever, right? So Wendy tells her that she felt as though she was being body shamed. Gizelle says, no, I never said that, boo. I never said that. Okay. And I kind of felt like this, Gizelle, you didn't say it blatantly, but I did feel like some things were kind of implied a bit when it came down to that, because you told her you didn't like seeing her breast or her body. You know what I'm saying? Like, you kind of made her feel a way about that. So it did kind of come off like you probably were like body shaming this lady or whatever. So I agree with Wendy on that. Like, that was wrong. What else happened? So I wanted to point out the fact that I felt as though production was definitely chopping up this particular scene. It was something that happened that made me be like, what? Because the conversation didn't flow right. So when Gizelle told Wendy, no, never said that, like never said that or something like that, it went straight into, it was like chopped. It went back to Wendy, and Gizelle was about to say something, and then it went back to Gizelle. And Gizelle said something like, this is your SHI. If this is your SHI, then why are you trying to put your SHI off on me? So something happened in that conversation that Wendy said, and I don't know. It seems like something was said within that moment that was left out. And I don't know exactly what it was that Wendy was saying about, exposing her experiences or something like that in life, or just being judged by people or whatever. But I just noticed that was a bit choppy. Not that it's a big factor about anything, but I just wanted to highlight that. Mia opens up her mouth and says, she hops in the conversation and says, oh yeah, I did have to agree with that. I wanted to agree with that, Gizelle. Yeah, you told her she lacks substance. Ooh, yeah, I have to agree with that. When Mia, shut up. I didn't hear anybody else jumping in the convo. Even when Ashley tried, Wendy shut her down, and I didn't hear or see anybody else hopping into that convo. And then you opened your mouth. Shut up, girl. Be quiet. Okay. We did not need to hear Mia chime in on that. Okay. What else happened? Oh yeah, I made a note saying that I was with Ashley on them calling Wendy out for her entire change. Okay, she didn't change her body, she didn't change her attitude. I do think that there has been a complete change in Wendy. I do think that is true from our first season until now. But I mean, sometimes that happens. People go on their first season, come back, they're different, right? Now, but I don't think it's a bad change, is what I said. I said I don't think it's a bad change, but I do think that the way she goes off on people is definitely a bit much. Okay, it definitely goes a little left. But then it also made me think maybe this is who Wendy has always been, because of how she kind of snapped off on Ashley last season. Even though I felt like, go off on Ashley, girl, I'm here for it. I was here for it, right? So that may just be how Wendy argues. Who knows? But I'm going to get into more of that. So Wendy cuts Robyn off when Robyn starts talking, because Robyn starts saying it's the truth that doesn't want to be, heard or whatever. So Wendy starts to cut Robyn off. Robyn said, why are you cutting me off? Wendy said, well, I was talking and you cut me off. And I'm like, no, Wendy, see, you like to talk so much, you don't even be paying attention. You be talking, you don't even be paying attention. So it's like, yeah, you did cut this woman off. All right. So you were the person that cut her off originally. All right. Mia brings up Wendy and her thong for the previous day when Wendy wore that outfit, that terrible outfit, in my opinion. Okay. Wendy's response to her originally was, girl, I got that outfit from Zara, girl. And I'm like, that's your comeback because you got the outfit from Zara. That was it. And then you had Miss Mia said, girl, well, Vicky's Secrets be having outfits too, girl. And we ain't up here wearing it in front of everybody. I was like, oh. Kind of a good point, okay? But I also feel like they're two different brands. Like, who is gonna wear some lingerie in front of somebody? Like, come on. Who is gonna do that? In front of a group of friends if that's not warranted for that particular event, okay? What else do we have? So I do feel as though when it comes to Wendy, though, I feel like Wendy might be having a midlife crisis, okay? I don't think it's in connection to like her change about herself, her personality or whatever. I feel like it has nothing to do with her husband, but more so, as I'm thinking about it, to do with Wendy. I think she's going through a midlife crisis and she's just trying to figure out who is Wendy about to be as she moves forward. Wendy already told her mama, like, listen, I think, in my opinion, I think she likes the entertainment sector of her life. She told her mama, you know, I want to just do political commentating. I think she said that, and like she doesn't want to be a professor or whatever. And then here it is. She's got on Real Housewives. She's seeing the fame. Her kids are loving it. Her kids think that they're actual superstars and stuff. So she's loving what comes with that. And I think she's just trying to figure out who she wants to be. What does Wendy want? What does this look like? Like, I think that's what she's going through. So much so that she started that candle line. It's not off the ground yet. Her husband even talked to her about it. It's not going anywhere soon. So she just trying to figure out what's going to be her lane. So that's where Miss Wendy is in her life, in my opinion. I think she's going through like a midlife crisis right now. What else? Wendy said, when they get back to the house, is what I noticed, that Wendy was feeling a bit defeated. She says that in the confessional, is what she said, is that she wants her friends to rally around her and uplift her when she's weak. And I'm looking like, where are you weak at, Wendy? How are you weak? Where are you weak at? You want your friends to rally around you and support you when you're weak. How are you weak? Where are you weak? Which friends are you speaking on? Because that didn't make sense for me. Okay. That's that. Another thing I want to say about Miss Candiace, I love the fact that this season, Candiace is all about Candiace. Love it. I love that Candiace is Team Candiace. If ain't nobody gonna be Team you, you need to be Team you. And I am loving it. She's definitely giving the girls the reads down in the confessionals, and I appreciate it. Now let's go ahead and move on. Wendy and Ashley, when they go outside, Wendy and Ashley go outside, and I feel as though when they had this conversation, I think that, in my opinion, Gizelle should have went with Ashley. Gizelle should have either gone with Ashley. Let me go off my notes. Give me 1 second, because I want to make sure that I go in the order in which I was actually. Did I put it here? Think about it. Okay. Yeah, I feel like they should have went together. Originally, my thought is I feel as though Gizelle and Ashley should have gone to Miss Wendy together to have this conversation versus sending Ashley, because Ashley is one that cannot be trusted. Okay. Ashley don't be giving all the details as much as she be wanting to go, but then give all the details at the same time. Anyway, so Wendy says that Gizelle could have come and had this talk with her. And she feels as though they're trying to attack her marriage. I agree. Okay, I definitely agree with that. Gizelle could have definitely came and had this sit down with you, since she cares so much. What else did I want to say? I feel like this situation was brought about to create friction for Miss Wendy, and Ashley only came to serve the purpose of being messy AF. Period. That was her whole purpose of why she came to this few hour event. She probably was there for she probably was there for like 12 hours, 12, 13 hours at most. It's probably how long Miss Ashley was there that she dipped out. So when Wendy came in to chomp off Gizelle, she approached her, in my opinion, as though she was talking about Eddie. And that's what I was kind of confused. I was trying to figure out what it was about the argument. She approached Gizelle as though Gizelle was talking down on her husband. And that's not necessarily what Gizelle was doing. But what Gizelle did do, she brought the conversation to the forefront about the article, which she was wrong. But Wendy was approaching her, in my opinion, as though Gizelle was talking down on her husband. And that's not what happened. But she was definitely using this situation as an identifier to why Wendy has been going through, or why Wendy has been doing the most, okay, with her body and stuff, all right, and her personality or whatever. So Wendy going off on Gizelle, for me, was an early disclaimer for Gizelle to not go down that road. Like, I did feel like, once again, she went off on Gizelle because she felt as though Gizelle was talking, down on her. But also I felt like this is really her giving you a disclaimer to not go down that road. Okay. And let's not make this a thing by giving a rumor and something that could possibly not be true. Like, because with this article, it brings the attention off of, oh, it's about Wendy. Oh, it's about your fashions. Oh, it's about your personality. And what it does is it puts the highlight on her marriage and everything of what's going on with it, whether it's true or whether it's not true. So that was also where Wendy was coming from. Like, I'm going to check you now so we don't even go down this road later. If you were even thinking about, bringing up this article any further, then let's not do that, because I think Wendy just didn't want that to be like highlighted, whether it's true or not. She didn't want that type of image out there, right? So what else I have? Now Wendy goes on to tell Gizelle that she'll whoop her ass. Like, if you don't want your ass whooped, you may want to chill out. I was in disagreement with this statement of what she said, because I felt like this. You was one of the main women, along with others, okay? You were one of the main women that was going against Miss Monique and how things happened with she and Candiace, and you felt as though there were better ways to resolve things. So for you to say that you will whoop Gizelle's ass, that right there for me was like, yeah, no, I didn't like that. I didn't go along with that. I felt like you were doing the most in that moment. I knew it was something that was off about her going off on Gizelle, and I had to just go back and watch it for myself. And I just felt like there were times that you were definitely doing the most. What else? Gizelle, you saying that you didn't bring it up to be malicious or to question who the woman was in the article, I disagree. I think you knew exactly what it was that you were doing. But you're disguising it as though you tried to come from a place where it was about love and stuff. And you sent Ashley messy ass in there alone. And I feel like you knew exactly what it was that you were doing. I feel like that shit was not cool, in my opinion. So stop acting as though if it was about a woman, if I wanted to know deeper, if I was trying to dive deeper into the mess, then that would have been one thing. I'm just saying that I don't believe the rumors are true or whatever, but I feel like you did the same thing with Ashley. I think you also mentioned the articles and things that was going on with Ashley and Michael last season. You know what I'm saying? But you and Candiace went together and y'all approached Miss Ashley on whatever the issues were. Some of the issues. So y'all approached her. So I feel like you and Ashley could have did the same thing. But in all honesty, I felt like it should have been you and Robyn, because you and Robyn were the ones that had the most issue with how she's been presenting herself. And primarily you wanted to bring up the article anyway. So if anybody should have went to her, it should have been you and Robyn going together to have a conversation, especially when Robyn ended up chiming into the conversation later on when Wendy was going off on you. But I'll get there. Let me look back at my notes, okay? Yeah, I said that. I said as though I felt as though Miss Gizelle and Robyn should have went there, okay? Y'all should have pulled her to the side. And the reason why I also feel like it was malicious, Gizelle, is because when Wendy walked up on y'all earlier, like last episode or something, when she walked up on y'all when y'all were discussing her, and she asked y'all if y'all were good, you said, yeah, we're fine, right? So I felt like that would have been a great time for you and both Robyn to have a sit down with this lady and talk to her one-on-one to get understanding, and that's not what y'all did. So I definitely feel like it was fake. You are being malicious, and you really lacked concern for whatever was going on with Wendy, in my opinion. What else? Robyn, when Wendy is going off on Gizelle, Robyn hops into the conversation when nobody else was talking. Everybody was quiet. Everybody was watching. So with that being said, Robyn, I'll have to tell you the same thing I told Mia at the table. Shut up, because there wasn't nobody talking to you. Okay. And then you're asking what was said about Eddie as if you didn't know Gizelle had already brought the article up to you. And you also said that you didn't agree with it. So I feel like you were aware of what was being said. And I don't understand what you were doing with the whole patty cake with the cootie toile. I mean, I can't, okay? You could have missed us with that, just like Miss Evelyn could have missed us with it over there on, what was this show? Basketball Wives, honey, okay? What else did I want to say? Gizelle says that everyone has made up stories about her, and it's not true. Keep it the F pushing. My thing is this, though, okay? And this is, let me just do it, okay? So, Gizelle, listen. If you feel that way, then why are you still on Karen's head? Why are you still on Karen's head about the things that she said if you felt as though they were lies, but you just sat up here and said that she should keep it pushing as far as Miss Wendy and the things that are out in the blogs? So I just felt like, yeah, no, okay. If that's the case, then take your own advice and you push forward. So then when it comes to Wendy, I feel like, Wendy, you were definitely doing too much to me, in my opinion, in that argument. A lot of people are going to feel like, nah, it's all fair game. She talked about her family and stuff. And I feel like there's a way you could read down. You can read down. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Gizelle didn't even really talk about her family. In all honesty, the article talked about her family. And what Gizelle said and what she did was she brought the article to the forefront, which I think that she was wrong in that aspect, you know. But also, at the same time, it's really like confliction for me, because they've done the same thing for Ashley. All right. So when stories are in the blogs, they bring them to the forefront. When the news was out about Karen and her husband not paying Ray, I want Ray to pay his bills, okay? When they had that, they brought that to the forefront. When Robyn had financial issues as well in the articles, they brought that to the forefront. So it is kind of like, why is it that Wendy gets to be excluded from that? She doesn't. Maybe it should have been a different messenger, but it still would have most likely got out if that's the angle they were trying to take on the show, unfortunately. It's not fair, you know, but unfortunately, I do feel like it is what it is. It does, you know, come off as fair game. But I also feel like the way she went in on Gizelle, some of it was warranted. I enjoyed the reads, but also it was like you were doing too much a bit. I felt as though it was coming off as though you wanted to impress Karen. Right? For me, I feel like you were trying to impress Karen because Karen has seen you low. Karen has seen you bothered, all of that. I felt like you were coming off as though you was trying to impress Karen, and you was also trying to impress the fans. I feel like in that moment you found your groove and figured, okay, bet, I see, okay, this probably going, like, I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be a shoe-in. I know they're gonna make sure this make air because I'm laying it thick on Miss Gizelle and stuff. That's what it was given, okay? And the reason why I feel that way is you left and then you came back. And then you start still going to work on Gizelle, and Gizelle wasn't even saying anything. You still kept going in, right? So those are my thoughts on that. Ashley calling Candiace a culprit when Candiace ran up on her. She said, "You're the culprit. You're the source. No BIT. You're the culprit. You're the source. Okay, you're the one that started the shit. All right, you're the one that created and started this shit, like you mostly do. Okay, that's why I enjoy seeing Candiace keeping her foot on your mother." Neck, period. Okay. I saw that some people were saying that they didn't understand why Candiace didn't give Gizelle the same energy that she gave Ashley. Why would she need to when Wendy already putting in that work on Gizelle in there? I think Candiace did exactly what needed to be done, which was go ahead and follow Miss Ashley to that kitchen because Ashley thought she was going to escape out scot-free. And I'm glad Candiace went in front of her on that because she should have got addressed about it. Whereas Gizelle already getting laid into. Okay, now why would in my opinion, I kind of feel like why would Candiace need to go in on Gizelle? Gizelle was bringing up stuff about this woman right here. This woman right here is going at it right with Gizelle. So she's met her match. But Ashley trying to escape out? Absolutely not. And then Wendy wasn't even giving that work to Ashley like that. She literally waited till Ashley left to tell Ashley that she said something about her breast milk or whatever like that. She need to be breastfeeding or she need to be doing something like that. Basically talking about Ashley. And Ashley was getting off scot-free. And I'm kind of like, well, Wendy, why didn't you tell Ashley that? You should have been going at both of them as they sat side by side. You should have snapped off on both of them. So I was glad Candiace followed Miss Ashley, said what she needed to say to Miss Ashley because Ashley thought she was going to start some shit and just hop out. All right. And not feel a way about nothing. So those are my thoughts about that. I also brought up the fact that I felt as though Miss Wendy going off on Gizelle, hilarious at times, mouth up dropping. She was really laying it on thick. She was saying everything the fans had already been saying and the things the fans had wanted to say, or would want her to say. I felt like she was trying to impress, like I said, the fans. And Karen, job well done because she did what needed to have been done in that moment, I suppose. What else did I want to say? Wendy. Let's get back to Wendy talking about her husband feeling as though he looks like Idris Elba. No, he does not. Nobody's gonna convince me of that. He doesn't, right? I can see if she said he looks as good as Idris Elba, but because she said he looks like him, America is definitely dragging you. I think that she could just say her man looks good. Because I feel like if she said that to Eddie would probably be like, don't say I look like no Idris Elba. Like, I look like myself. I look like me. I'm fine as fuck. You know what I'm saying? So what's wrong with him being fine with who he is? Why he got to be connected to somebody else? Okay. And some people were saying, you know, like, well, he does look just as good as Idris Elba. That's fine. That's not what she said. She said he looks like. That's what she's being dragged about. That's what she's being judged about, okay? The fact that she said he looks like, okay? She could say he looks just as good to Idris Elba to her, but I'm sure her husband is probably like, don't do me, don't compare me, because Idris Elba ain't fine to everybody, okay? And Eddie probably like, I look good. I look like me, period, okay? I'm Eddie. Period. So those are my thoughts on that. After I went back and kind of watched 2 of the primary scenes of the show, which was the lunch and then, back at the house, okay, back at the ranch, being able to see that and giving my thoughts. Y'all leave y'all thoughts and comments down below. And I know y'all gonna do that anyway, honey, because that's just how y'all is. But be careful. Don't get blocked, okay? Have fun. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.